Hello, everyone, and welcome again to my channel, Special Children for Special Parents. The purpose of this video is to promote awareness and encourage parents and caregivers to actively engage, interact, and understand children with special needs. All right, before we move on, please like, subscribe to the channel, and get notified for all upcoming videos. And thank you very much. All right, for today, we will be talking about skill building and behavior modification in natural settings. All right, so what does this mean? First, let's review first the ABC of understanding challenging behavior. So for those of you who are watching this, I encourage you to watch the previous video because this will be a series of videos that will lead to this this particular topic about the ABC of understanding challenging behavior and teaching in natural setting. All right, the ABC of understanding challenging behavior. First, a behavior is triggered by an antecedent. So, an antecedent is a situation, an action, or an event that precedes a behavior. And within that antecedent, it results into a behavior. So, it is an observable act or a measurable act as a result of the antecedent, and then the consequence follow. So any response, action, or event that follows a behavior. It could be a positive event or it could be an event that we need to modify. All right, so in between antecedent and behavior, we have that opportunity to intervene and shape challenging behaviors. So the good thing is we need to know antecedents and what are the triggers that comes with it. And with that, we think of interventions to shape behaviors in order to produce positive results. And one of those intervention is behavior contract. So in the previous two videos before this, we talk about behavior contract and an example of a behavior contract. And that is the first then sentence strip. So this is the most basic behavior contract. The first then sentence strip is a document, a visual document that spells out what is expected, what behavior is expected, and the reinforcement that happens when those expectations are achieved. So it's a one way contract. So first you do this, and then you will be rewarded or you will get this one as a result of performing what is the expected behavior. All right. So, an example would be taking a shower, so completing self care during shower time, and then after the child completes what is expected, then he can earn what a reinforcement, which at this time, an example would be to watch a favorite TV show. Alrighty, so now there are questions about when and where. So, where is the best setting to model skills and modify behavior? So, is there a specific place that we are more successful in modeling skills or modifying behavior? Or when is the best time to implement behavior contracts? So, is there a time or is there a place where we can implement behavior contracts as well as model and modify behavior? All right, so the answer for that is the acronym STEP. STEP. All right, so let's get to know the meaning of this acronym. It is easy to remember, and this is where we will talk about natural environment or natural setting. All right, S stands for setting, or the child's familiar surrounding. So anywhere that the child is already familiar with in the surrounding, inside the house, in a playground, these are the settings that the child is already familiar, or a favorite park. All right, now the T stands for timing or opportunity to model skills and modify behavior. So this is the timing or the opportunity. Take that opportunity to model skills, to teach skills, and also to modify behavior. E stands for embed or include in daily activities. So in a natural settings, natural things happen. So it is a routine that the child is already doing. So we're trying to embed or include this learning process, the modification, the modeling of skills through the child's daily routine or daily activities. And the P stands for promote generalization of skills. So, meaning that when we model the skills and the child continuously respond positively, then the child will generalize the skill and promote independence. And then we will be talking about maintenance of skill once the child is already independent in a particular skill that we model. All right, so step STEP, setting, timing, embed, and promote. Alrighty, so now let's talk about teaching and shaping skills in natural environment. So we know natural environment is anything, the surrounding or an area that the child is already familiar. So teaching and shaping skills in natural setting aims on including learning opportunities in everyday activities and play, making it more fun and helping skills stick better. Since we are modeling skills in the child's daily activity or the child's natural surrounding, so it is the best opportunity, like play during playtime or an everyday activity, ADLs maybe, activities of daily living and self care. And it makes it more fun, and also it helps the child understand the purpose of why we model or why we modify the behavior or teach skills. All right. So, why is it advantageous to promote learning, to model behavior or to model skills in the natural environment or natural setting? One of the reasons is it uses the child's current environment, like their home, school, or community as the place for learning. So we are not looking for any other place to teach these skills. It is already in our reach. At home, it starts at home. The child is familiar already at home, at school, where the child goes to, or the community, the local park, or it could be a local restaurant that the child is already familiar as the place for learning. So we're not anymore getting um, any other place but the natural setting that the child is already familiar. Another reason is learning is based on what the child likes, using play and daily activities. So we are actually intervening positively during an event that a child is that an event that the child prefers or like, and that is during play and sometimes their daily activities. And then the third reason is it helps children learn and apply skills in real world situations. So this is where the generalization of skills comes in. So the more they practice in the natural environment, they will generalize the skills and apply it in real life situation. And thus, if that happened, that it increased independence and also the functionality of the skill that we are teaching or we are modeling. Okay, so now Let's look at some examples. Now, we know the reasons why teaching a child in a natural environment or natural setting is advantageous. So let's take a look at some examples of natural setting and also examples of opportunity to teach or modify skills. So we are gonna group them into pre-academic skills, language skills, and social skills. All right. First example, playtime with toys and games. So this is an activity that your child enjoys. This is a positive activity. So what skills can we teach in this type of activities? And it happens in a natural setting, be it at home or at school or at the playground. All right, so pre-academic skills. Learn about colors, shape, and texture. So all those toys, the varying toys that the child has, then we engage, we take part of those play, and teach the child about colors, shapes, and texture. So these are foundational academic skills. That's called pre-academic skills. And how do we engage them into improving language skills? So we enhance language skills by responding to question or requesting for assistance. Okay, so we engage the child in a conversation. So some children may have some delay in their communication skills. So there are things that we can use that we will talk in the future on how to engage them. But vocalization is an important expression. They may not be able to utter a word at this time, but vocalization, eye contact, and also like high fives, all of these are basic skills to build language skills. And then social skills would be enhancing social skills like waiting and taking turns and engaging in conversation. All right, now, how about daily routines like snack, bedtime, or self care? So these are, again, natural things that the child is already familiar. Some of them self care, of course, activities at home, and also snack time. So during these activities, what skills can we model or teach? All right, so foundational or pre academic skills. So learn to execute steps in completing self care and home routines. So have the child participate in executing the self care. So, for example, if it's self care, what are the steps in order to complete a skill or a task? So, if we talk about taking a shower, so this is the opportunity to help the child learn the steps, complete the steps in taking a shower, how to clean up themselves. And this is the natural environment, so meaning that the generalization of the skills can be applied. The child would learn to apply it in natural situation and encourage independence. How about language skills? All right, so encourage language skills such as requesting for help or assistance, building vocabulary. So, for example, snack time. All right, so a child wants more of that snack. So, that's an opportunity for us to teach the child how to request and how to say please and thank you. So, these are again foundational language skills, one word or phrases that the child can use to establish that communication skills and interact with adults and other children. All right, and also building vocabulary. So, learning the name of the snacks, the name of the toy, the name of the items that will be used in self care. So, these are the vocabulary that the child can also learn during that activity. And then for social skills, helping the child improve social skills such as compliance to prompts and independence in self care. So it goes hand in hand with language skills and pre academic skills. So we're talking about compliance. The child will comply, encouraging him to be independent in requesting or in completing a task. So, and then also, Natural environment, meaning that the generalization of skills. So then we're looking at in the future of independence in socialization when it comes to daily routines, snack time, bedtime, self care, and any other activities that are part of your child's daily routine. All right, playing with blocks and other manipulatives. So some children loves to play with those building blocks and other manipulatives. So manipulative means that a group of toys like marbles, it could be toy soldiers, those little toys that they play with. So those are manipulative. So how can we teach pre-academic skills? All right, so we can teach the child or model on how to count or sort items based on shapes, structures, colors, and any other ways um, of sorting or counting. So those manipulatives are useful. Even at school, from my experience, we use manipulatives to start or to help the child learn how to count and also understand quantities and numbers. So this is an opportunity for parents and caregivers while the child is playing with blocks and manipulatives to encourage them, model, and help them learn about counting and sorting. How about language skills? So, encourage language skills through identification of objects, colors, types, and shapes. So, then it goes hand in hand with pre academic. So, the child is sorting and at the same time learning some vocabulary about counting and about shapes. And then, if what can we do about social skills? Okay, enhance social skills such as playing with someone, taking turns, and requesting for assistance. So sometimes one toy is missing, or um, the child is playing with someone. So this would encourage the child to learn how to wait, how to take turns, and also requesting. So the mere fact that the child will generalize about asking for help or saying thank you, these are important foundational social skills. All right, now mealtime and snack time. So this is one of those natural settings. So we do have snack time, but it's part of the daily routine. But this time, if we talk about mealtime and snack time, so what can we do during mealtime or snack time? All right, so pre-academic skills, learning appropriate table manners and expected behavior during mealtime, snack time. And this is very important that the child learns about appropriate table manners and expected behaviors during mealtime or snack time. So, this is an opportunity for us, parents, caregivers, and teachers to teach, to model expected behaviors, appropriate behaviors during mealtime. And then language skills. Yes, it goes hand in hand with pre academic skills. So enhance language skills through expressing requests to preferred items. So if the child wants more, or if a child wants a certain type of snack or a certain type of food, encourage the child to express their wants and needs. And also encourage them to say please and thank you. So these are also opportunities for us to model these skills during mealtime and snack time. And how about social skills? Okay, it is very important that the child learn about waiting, about expressing yes or no, and appropriate acceptance for all done or no more. So, this last part, all done and no more, could be a trigger to behavior. But during mealtime and snack time, we can teach the child. We can um, apply interventions in order to shape behavior, and the child will generalize and be able to accept if when the caregiver or the parent would say all done or no more. Also, we teach the child if we hand a food that the child doesn't want, then this is the opportunity to model and the child say no thank you, or if the child wanted that food, I would say, yes, thank you. So there are a lot of opportunities in the natural setting that happens within an environment that the child is already familiar with, and it is part of the child's routine. Okay, now how about some natural events and setting? So not just positive things happen in a natural setting. So not all things that happen in a natural setting are all positive. So there could be some events that can happen, and what can we do? And what opportunities can we do to teach or modify skills? All right, so one good example is bathroom accidents or soiled clothes. So it happens in the natural environment. All right. So, what can we do to encourage the child to develop language skills? So, model appropriate expression of feelings and needs to minimize frustration, because sometimes it happens because the child is unable to express how he or she feels, or the need to go and use the bathroom or the toilet. So, model, I need to use the restroom, or I am in pain. So, those are some foundational language skills that may help prevent bathroom accidents or soiling their clothes in the future. So, then we put it on the target behavior. Now, how about social skills? So, if it happens in public, assure the child that things happen and it is okay. Because if we um, scold the child because of this incident, this is a natural thing that happened. This is a natural event that could happen in a natural setting. So the first thing that we should do is to assure the child that these things happen and that it is okay, and then encourage the child to inform about the need to use the bathroom next time. So then we can say, instead of saying that's not appropriate, we can say that maybe next time you let me know if you need to use the bathroom. So then the language skills and the social skills work together in order for us to get into our target behavior, which is the independence in expressing the need to use the bathroom as well as to execute the task. So we need to assure the child by saying that maybe we can try next time to say to inform me or the caregiver or your teacher before it happens, and then the child will generalize that in after several trials, and hopefully we get the independence in expressing the need to use the bathroom as well as execute the task. Okay, now sometimes in the classroom, sometimes when you are in public in a local park or a church, a child may be exposed to loud environment or environmental triggers. Again, this happens on natural settings, and these are natural events. So what can we do as a form of intervention for teaching or modifying behavior? All right. So, for language skills, we can encourage expressions of wants and needs, model how to request to leave area, requests like quiet please, or requests for noise blocking headphones. So if your child uses noise blocking headphone, this is an opportunity for you to model the behavior of saying either quiet please or request for the noise blocking headphones. All right, so how about social skills? So, encourage the child to build skills in self regulation. So, how can we control, how can we encourage the child to help them learn self control and appropriate response to unexpected events, such as expressing discomfort instead of running away? Because one of this behavior that I have observed, if they're exposed to triggers like loud environment or triggers such as crowded area, the child tends to run because the child cannot handle the pressure, the sensitivity to sound, the sensitivity to noise, is part of the developmental delay. So that means that the sensitivity makes them feeling overwhelmed and become frustrated, so they run away. So instead of doing that, we can encourage the child to express that they are uncomfortable with the situation, that they need to go in a quiet place, or they would need a headphone, or they need to leave area. So our target behavior in teaching language and social skills in this particular situation is the independence in expressing the need to leave area or expressing feelings of being uncomfortable. All right, so these are some target skills that the child will generalize and apply to similar situations in the future. Okay, another example is electronic device shutting down while in use. And this happens in my classroom 100 times. And now also a lot of kids are into electronics like the tablet. They watch their favorite show as a reward or during their leisure time. And eventually it shuts down. So meaning the tablet is done and they cannot watch anymore or they cannot interact anymore with whatever they are doing in that electronic device. Okay, so what can we do for language skills, teaching language skills, intervening? Okay, encourage the child to express the need for help. So I need help. If a child can express through words, then encourage the child to do that. Or if the child uses sign language or the mere fact of signing for help, that is a good start, a good beginning. So we are encouraging ways on how to express I need help, I need a charger, instead of engaging in challenging behavior. Because what happens if we look at the ABC of behavior, when an electronic device shut down, the child becomes frustrated and there could be a temper tantrum. The child will grab another sibling's tablet or electronic device, or it would toss the device up in the air because it's not working. So, in this particular situations, let's intervene. Let's shape behavior. Let's encourage language skills by expressing the need for help, the need for a charger in order to charge the device, instead of engaging challenging behaviors. Again, when we talk about social skills, what can we do? What can we model to the child in this particular situation? So, encourage social skills in waiting and accepting non-availability of preferred items and requesting for alternative activity. Okay, so how does this go? All right, so waiting for it to be charged is a skill. So this is also an opportunity for us to teach the child how to wait. And in the future, in the coming videos, we will also talk about certain interventions and things at home that we can utilize to encourage the child or to help the child wait. But at this time, during this particular situations that happen in the natural environment, it is good to model um, skills in accepting that the preferred activity is not available at this time and request for alternative activity. So instead of saying it's not available, you say it is not available at this time, but we can do something else. Now, then, this encourages the child to problem solve. So, what is our target behavior? What behavior are we trying to encourage the child to generalize in this situation? So, the independence and problem solving skills. So, it is also very important that at a young age, the child is exposed to steps or foundational skills that will eventually lead to independence in problem solving skills. Okay, so to wrap it up, I hope that every you learn something about teaching in natural environment and what can we do as caregivers, teachers, or parents to encourage the child to develop pre-academic skills, language skills, and social skills in order for the child to apply these skills in natural situations or real life situations. Okay, now before we go, I would like to quote a saying from Audrey Hepburn. It says, "Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible." All right, so nothing is impossible, everything is possible, and we are learning about skills, about interventions that will help us encourage things or events and skill building to be possible. All right, thank you for your time again. This is James Lassay, and this is my channel, Special Children for Special Parents. Have a wonderful day.